Hey you there, welcome back to Risk View Award. Today we're going to be talking about the ILAG follow-up trade, how I traded it, what I could have done better, and then we're going to be talking about some comparisons on how money flows from one stock to the next, and we're going to jump right into the chart. Let's get right into it. Alrighty here, so we're in my chart, we're in ILAG. As you guys know, I have this blue line right here. This was my original price. I actually entered aftermarket at 404 for the $4 whole dollar break. This thing actually went up. I did not scale any out. I had very small size. I wasn't expecting to scale out, and my intentions with this trade was to basically buy here at 404, let this thing settle over $5, and then consolidate, and then from that point find a breakout trade, right? But that never happened. All right, so you ended up getting to about that $5 level, hard rejection, all the way back into this 425 level. That is to be expected if you're going to reject. Okay, so now you're going to look at this morning. When I woke up, I still was in this trade over the weekend. I woke up, this trade was somewhere around 450. It had gone down here to 90s. You know, my out was like 90 or like 85s or something like that. That was going to be my stop. That was going to be my risk parameters, was like 15 cents, so 85. And then we see how this thing just went kind of sideways, right? But now you guys are probably wondering, did I get stopped out? Quick answer is yes, and long answer is I stopped myself out in a win, so I basically trailed myself out for 18-cent win. However, I do have an explanation for you. So if you look right here, let me see if I can move this up. So if you look right here, right, in this level, you had this so I'm gonna just put a line here for y'all. If you look right here, when you look on what you call the level 2, and I'll show you an example of the level 2 in a different video, but when you look on the level 2, it's basically how many people are buying, how many people are selling, and at what price, right? So you have this kind of balance that goes on. So when I was looking at the level 2 in the pre-market, I seen an outstanding amount of size that was right here at 432s, and it was about 30,000 shares to sell at 32. So I'm in here long. If you have 30,000 shares to sell at 32, it's probably going to go down if the size does not get taken, right? Because the stock has to balance itself out. So if you have somebody that's trying to sell 30,000 shares, you need somebody to buy 30,000 shares. But until that happens, it's going to be a sell and balance, so that'll drive the price down and down and down and down until you find some buyers to step up and take that size, right? So when I seen that, I said, man, I'm gonna get the heck out of Dodge. It did get stuffed. They tried to retest, and it just was getting stuffy, and the volume wasn't great in the pre-market. So I said, I'm gonna just get the heck out of Dodge. Stopped out for 18% profit. Not much profit at all. My size was so small, I was looking to actually add on to this trade today. Or if we got over the $5 bounce that we did, I was going to go ahead and add at that particular time and just keep adding. So if my average was $4 and I added here, my average would be 450, and then I would get the run up and just keep adding as I go up, right? So basically I stopped out. So I left this trade alone, and I didn't even set no alerts on it. Okay, so what happened is I didn't set the alerts on it. It breaks down like I expected it to do. Right here at 32s, I guess the imbalance was too big. Somebody must have took all that size, and then it actually yammed to the downside, right? So it goes down here to 80s. I would have been stopped out anyway, but it goes to 80s, and it goes right back up to my entry price, right? Settles over the entry price, retest it, big wick off my price, and then straight to the upside, right? And does a $5 break. So when I actually look back at the stock, because I was trading something else, the stock was around here at around $5 even. So it was actually creeping up and trying to do like a breakout right here. So I just took the breakout again with more size than I had originally. I took the breakout here. I did not take any profits up here. I like the 50, like from the quarter to the 50. I didn't take any profits. I wasn't looking for it. I was looking for a whole dollar move. But when I was looking at the level 2, and level 2 kind of slowed me down today, it was really stuffy right here, and they just kept bogging it down every time it popped up, bogged down, popped up, bogged down, popped up, bogged down. So I was like, you know, I'm not going to play with this. I stopped out flat. And then as soon as I stop out flat right here, it just runs, right? So it just ran basically that whole dollar move. So it actually hit my target, which was 650. This was my target here, and actually ran to about 725. And then it started to actually come down. Not really capitulation, but it did start to break on down. And you can call it a capitulation, but yeah, it basically sold off the rest of the day. So if you want to pay attention to, and which brings me to my next kind of obvious teaching here, is why I'm teaching you about, you know, money shifting in the market. When you see something like this, it puts off a big wick top high. If you look at the a 15-minute super big wick top high, just a huge sell-off. When you start looking at this and you start to get capitulation with lower volume, if you take a look at this volume down here, this is lower volume. So what's going to happen is that means the stock is just getting less and less uninteresting to a lot of folks and a lot of day traders, and they'll say, you know what, the stock might be dead, I'm gonna leave it alone. So as the volume dies, the price action usually dies as well, or it'll just go straight sideways. I've seen sometimes, right? So I'm gonna compare this stock and show you how it basically circulates. So I'm going to click out of here and I'm going to jump over and I'm going to put these up side by side. So over here we have the stock called HCSC, and this is Heart Test Laboratories. I have no idea what they do. I do not care. Most of the time I just trade the price action, right? Per usual. So this is both the 1 minute chart. Now if we look at these, right? And my cursor, my vertical cursor will show you where I'm at the time, even on this stock, on this chart over here. It will show you that as this volume was dead, right? This volume was high, money was going into it, and then what happens when the volume started to really die? Okay, volume started to die. Guess what? Now somebody found another stock to pump up. This thing starts to run. The volume ultra dies over here and just goes supersonic over here, right? And then as this volume is starting to die, it's starting to get bigger over there. So this is just one of those things where you'll have like a money inflow type of deal. There's other indicators for that, to be honest, but this is just to show you an example of how you know, if the stock is no longer in play, it'll run to another stock and all the money and volume will start going into this particular stock. And as you can see, as this price went up, that one went down, and this price kind of went sideways, that one kept going up. So now everything is kind of selling off. It's the end of the day. It's about to be the close of the market. I'm flat on the day, so not very exciting day for me. But this is just to give you a comparison. So if one is not in play, if it's no longer in play, just jump into a new trade, man. Trade what's in play. Don't try to make this thing in play because you feel like ILAG is the next HKD, which is probably not. Just go over to the next trade. Like, there's always another stock that's gonna pop. Okay, get your, use some scanners and different things and find these volume scanners and see if these things are popping up, right? And play and run these trades, right? So just go over to the next thing. It's not, you don't have to be stuck on ILAG all day hoping that it gets back to 7. Now I do want to mention that there is more small caps running at this time. So you had HLBZ, which was HLBZ. This is also running, and then you also have, of course, the Heart Test Laboratories. You also had SOS, I thought was trying to do something as well. Yeah, so you also have SOS breaking out. So you have a few things breaking out right now. You guys have choices to pick all of these different things that are going to be, circulating. Money flow is coming out of, the ILAG. Money flow is coming out of ILAG and it's going into these other small caps. So don't get stuck on one type of small cap because there's so many out there. Don't get stuck on one type of stock because there's so many out there and there's so much opportunity out here for you that you can find these trades pretty much every day if they are in play and they are running. So Don't shy away from these right now. They're still kind of low float. Land is still in play at this particular point. But as always, be careful. Know your levels. Know when you need to get out. Know when you're wrong. Okay? So that's all I have for you today, man. Like I said, any questions, comments, concerns, go ahead and drop them down there below. I'll answer all questions. All right, that's all I have for you today. I just wanted to give you an update on my trade. I kind of just was flat on it. It didn't really work out how I wanted it to work out, but that's okay. I trade large caps anyway, so it's not really a big deal to me. It's not my favorite setup. That's kind of like a C+ setup for me. Go ahead and like, comment, subscribe. And as always, I will see you in the next one.